Hi guys, this is Mark from Solo, and today I would like to show you a game called My Little Scythe. Thank you Stonemaier Games for sending me a review copy. This is in a way a simplified version of the big hit game from Stonemaier Games called Scythe. It shares some similarities with the Big Brother, but this is a completely different game with different theme and different mechanism and a lot of cool ideas. So what is this game about? The game is about the animal Kingdom of Pomme, where we have 7 animal kingdoms. You can see the animals on the back of the box, and every year the animal kingdoms compete in a harvest tournament to win some trophies, and the animal kingdom that will win will rule the Pomme kingdom for the following year. This is how the board looks like. You have some miniatures and cards and stuff like this, but we will see it when we open the box. The game is for 1 to, let me show you, for 1 to 6 players. It takes about 45 minutes to play and ages 8+. So this is like a Scythe for kids, or for, I don't know, for people who don't have a lot of experience with big advanced board games. So this could be a great gateway game for, you know, less hardcore board gamers. The box is quite heavy. you cannot see it, but yeah, you can tell it's full of content. Whoops. The cover is really nice. You can probably recognize the animals from Scythe. Let me open the box. Okay. And what's also cool about this game is that it has a solo mode. So you will see in a second. This is a guide how to put everything together, and you can see that some compartments are intentionally empty. They are available for an expansion. There's an expansion for this game, Pie in the Sky. I will show you the expansion soon. Here we have the rulebook. It's not a long rulebook, 8 pages long. It tells you how to set up the game and tells you how to play the game. Nothing too complicated. Cool. Now we have the rulebook that's very interesting for me. As you know, I play a lot of games solo, and this is a solo mode for My Little Scythe. And you may ask, why having a solo mode in a children game or a game for younger players is important? I think first of all it's important because you can give this game to your kids and they can try to play it by themselves. But also it's kind of cool because you can play the game together with your kid, and you can play like a, you know, cooperative game against the automa. For example, my daughter is 5 years old, and she would love to play games with me. We play my big games a lot of times, and she, you know, sits with me and helps me with playing my games. But you know, the theme of the games that I play is not really suitable for children, like Cthulhu, Death May Die or Gloomhaven. So, you know, it's hard for me to play with her. And having a game like this is perfect because we can sit and we can play together, and she will not lose, because if we lose, we will lose together, and if we win, we will win together. We can cooperate and have fun. And for me it's easier to explain to her the rules and theme of this game, and not of a game like, you know, Mage Knight. Okay, but coming back to unboxing, this is an achievement sheet. You can track the scores and the winners of each game. You can, you know, like put it on your fridge and track the scores of your family. It's cool. It's a thick cardboard. Here is also something interesting, because this is painting guide. Because if each animal kingdom in this game has two minifigures, they are like siblings that compete in the harvest competition, and this is a guide how to paint them. You have some information about the kingdoms, but if you know how to paint minifigures, you can paint them as shown on this sheet. I'm not a painter, which I really regret. Maybe one day I will, but it's cool to give some ideas about how to paint the minifigures. Here we have player boards. You can see that there are 3 actions that we can take every turn. One is to move, one is to seek, and then we will roll the dice and get the resources on the board. And here we can make some things, like we can make pies, we can swap gems for some spells, or we can swap some resources for enhancement cards and power-ups. So this is cool. This is also like not a regular paper. So we have a player board for every player, 6 of them. And here we have the board, and the board is huge. I'm not sure if I will be able to show you the whole board, because this is like a gigantic board. Okay, let me try to open the board. I'm back with the board. As I told you, it's not possible to put everything in view, but here you can see we have the terrain tiles, we have some portals. Design is really cool. Here you can see this is where we can score trophies. We can score trophies for becoming friends with other animals, for getting power-ups, spell cards, for completing quests, for gathering gems and apples, and winning in pie fights, or by producing pies. So this is cool, because the player who gets 4 trophies first wins the game, but you have 8 options to get the trophies, so you can concentrate on the things that you like more, or depend on when you are on the board. So this is a cool idea, because you don't have just the victory point that you must get. You can have different options to win the game. There's a similar mechanics that was in Scythe, the big game. You also had different ways to get trophies and then victory points in the game. The board is really big, really huge, but this is great, because if your kids play the game, the tiles are big, it's easy to put minifigures on the board. It's not something small that you have to stare at. It's great. And what do we have here? Here we have the power-up tiles. The power-ups are like enhancements to your player board that give you additional options. Like before, when you have the basic player board, and you can see that you have the actions that you can take. Here are a little more options. You have an additional action that you can take. You can move like a mechanical frog, or supply catapult, and you can get these power-ups during the game. So this is also a good idea, because you don't feel you have the same actions during the whole gameplay, but you can alter your options by getting the power-ups. Here are quest tokens, because in the game you will be able to complete some quests. And here we have the starting tiles for different animal kingdoms, and here we have the trophies, tokens for every kingdom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because you have, in the base game you have 7 kingdoms. The game is up to 6 players, so you have more options to choose from. And here we have the pie dial. This is like a dial where you which you use when you make pie fights with other player. You can set how many pies you want to use in the fight, and then you can also add some spells to the fight, and then you compete your results, and the person with most pies wins. This is also a similar mechanism to Scythe the big game, because you also had some dials for battles. This is setup tile. It tells you how to set up the kingdom for each player. And here we have the best part of the game, the miniatures. And as you can see, this is the game has a great tray by Game Trays, and it can, you can store every miniatures and everything inside. I love games with let me open it. I love games with dedicated trays, because storing everything in some bags is not a perfect option. And here you have place for the tokens that you will have to punch, and for pawns, and for the miniatures. It's great because you can put it on the table and just play the game. And you have free space for the expansion. So let's take a look at the miniatures. They are awesome because they are really big. If you compare them with some miniatures from other games, I think they are thicker, bigger, easier to hold in your hands when you are a child. Let me compare, because I have some miniatures for Lord of the Rings Journeys in the Middle Earth. So here is my dwarf, and here is the mini from my Little Scythe. So you can see this is a big one. So really, if you are a painter and you can paint your miniatures, they are really great for painting. You will be able to see all the details. Look how cool they look. Great. What do we have? Okay, here we have some boar with a scythe in his hand. They have different colors. Great. So this is one tray, and then we have the bottom part of the tray where we have pawns. Oops. Okay, I will open them, and as you can see in the insert there is a space to put them. You can put them accordingly to the color of the faction, and it's cool because you can store them as you want. Nice. And what do we have here? Here we have the apples. I'm not sure if I can open it. Let me get my scissors. And apples are made of plastic, shiny plastic. It looks very nice. And you also have a dedicated space in the tray where you can put your apples. And then we have some gems. Let me show you the gems. Wow, they look nice. When my daughter sees it, she will be more than happy. Really cool. I don't know if you can see it. They look awesome. And gems and apples are the things that you can gather, that you can harvest from the board, and then you can transport it to the central castle and get a trophy. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, maybe let's take a look at the card a little later. Here we have the dice that you can roll, and they tell you where to put resources on the board. Oh, lovely dice. Red one, blue one, and like a brown gold one. Really nice. Of course, there is a space in the tray to put the dice. And then we have some elements to put together the pile dial, the pie battle dial. This we can leave this out. And here we have the cards. Okay. There are a lot of cards in the game as well. And here we have the quest cards, because we have an option to complete quests. And this is cool because you have a quest like covered creatures, and then you have a few options you can choose. Like one is help the forest, and then you pay, for example here you pay 2 apples and you gain 2 friendship and 1 pie. But you can also be not so nice and you can use dirty tricks, remove any 1 apple, gem or quest from the board and do not lose friendship. Or no thanks, you can just pass the quest and do nothing. And there are a lot of quests, and yeah, cool. You have some options. Always one is like better, and the second one is worse. Like apple party, you can attend the party, pay apples but gain friendship, or you can transfer 2 pies from any other player. So let's say you steal them but you lose 2 friendship. So this game also teaches you a lot of cool values about friendship, about apples, about pies. But pies, apples and friendship and friends are really important, even if you are 41 years old like me. So this game, it has some universal themes and universal values. These are spell cards that you can also get in the game, and they help you with pie battles, because like you see here you have 4 pies that you can add to your pies on the resource on the pay dial, and then you can 5 win the fight. Okay, let's put it here for now. And now we have the last deck of cards. The production value of this game is awesome, I must tell you. The minis, the quality of the cards and the components is really cool. To be honest, all Stonemaier games from Stonemaier Games are like this. I have Viticulture and Wingspan and Charterstone, and the quality is always awesome. Here are some cards that you can use at the start of the game. They give you some benefits in getting a specific trophy, like foodie. This helps you with trophy pies. Earn the trophy on your turn by reaching 7 pies instead of 8. So every player gets a card like this. This card is hidden for other players, and it gives you some benefits. And what do we have here? Okay, and here we have the Automa card. Oops. Okay, it tells you how to set the game up. It tells you probably what Automa will do. Here it gets like pies and how it will move. So the idea of the mechanics of Automa is very similar to other games from this company. You have deck of cards, you shuffle the cards probably, and then every round you take one card and it tells you what to do, what kind of resources give to your opponent, and it's easy to manage, easy to play, but it's really fun. Okay, so this is how the game looks like. As you can see, tons of elements, tons of things here. What are this? Like ninja cats? Game looks great. Visit my Instagram to see more photos from the game and to read my review. In a few days I will also post a video of the expansion, because I also have it here. Let me show you. It's called, you know, Pie in the Sky. You have 2 more animal kingdoms and you have an airship. So I will open the expansion as well and show you what's inside. But for now, this is my Little Scythe. Great looking game. And thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!